My vulva, vulva and me. My vulva, my vulva and me. My vulva and me.
Welcome, Sheridan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm so grateful for you to even taking this time with me. I know that you have a lot going on. I'm so sorry for your loss, and I thank you
Thank you.
for persevering and just still being a light. I don't know if you know, but you're still a light, even in the face of grief and adversity. You still shine, honey, and I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So if you would just take a second and just let the world know who Sheridan Davis is. Like, why are you so dope? Like, just tell them. Because
Why am I so dope? What a
why are you so dope?
question. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on. Who am I? I am a child of God, number one. Number two, I'm a child of Joseph and Trina Davis. They are pastors here in Chicago. I'm from the west side of Chicago. And I'm a PK, and I am a writer. I'm an author. Those are two different things. I'm a writer. I'm an author. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a sister. I'm a lover. I love all things Black women. I am a Black woman. I am proud of it, and I'm here to serve.
And you are also a publisher, am I right?
I am. Thank you for. Sometimes you got to remind me
I'm
because I be wearing 58 hats. So yes, I am an independent publisher.
that is good. And tell us about your company, your publishing company.
Okay, so the name of my company is Chocolate Chip and Co. Now, the reason why I named the company Chocolate Chip and Co. is number one, Tiffany is like my favorite jewelry designer. It's so simple but so chic at the same time. I love that, and I wanted to take that approach to publishing, where it looks good, the branding is off the chain, and so that was my inspiration. As far as the name Chocolate Chip comes from when I was a baby, a mother in the church nicknamed me Chocolate Chip because of my chocolatey skin. And
Yeah.
so I put it on together and became Chocolate Chip and Co. I have been publishing independently for, I believe, 5 years now. Excuse me, 6 years now. Come on, anniversary. Um, it has been 6 years now. And in that time, I have published about 33 books. So God is good, and I'm out here on the move.
That's awesome. Awesome. That is so amazing. I am so grateful for you, and you really trailblazing in this area. And I really
Thank
came
you.
to know you through your work and through your writing. And I want to get into that later. How you said there was a difference between being a writer and being an author. And so
Mm-hmm.
I come to know you as an author through your work, through your books, church work, which we'll get into in a second. But if you've been watching my Vulva and Me for the last few seasons, you already know how much I love a good game. And so we open every single episode with a good game. Some of them are mainstream games, some of them I made up on my own, and this one I made up on my own. And so if
Okay.
you will indulge me for just a bit, we're going to play a game called Alternate Endings. Hopefully,
Okay.
you, as a writer,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to rewrite the plot and the ending of these well-known films. Hopefully,
Oh, I love this.
see,
Okay.
and like real quick, like in like 30 seconds or so, give us the plot twist, if you will, for these stories. Okay, so I'm going to
Got
start with an easy one: The Lion King.
it. Oh, okay. Plot twist. So the plot twist would have been that Simba did not take over the Pride Lands. The plot twist would have been that he started a whole new land for his fellow lions, and he started his own circle and brought his own table. That would be the plot twist.
So we got
Uh,
to see Mufasa.
Star would have still died, though. Can I say that?
Huh?
Scar would have still died though.
Oh, for
But
sure. But what about Mufasa though? Can he not die? You didn't want to keep him alive?
but you said the end, so I just went straight for the end.
Oh,
Mufasa absolutely would have stayed alive and killed his brother. Like I can't even watch to this day. I cannot watch Mufasa die.
oh
I
my
have to
God,
walk
it
out.
tears me up. Lion King is literally, no exaggeration, my favorite movie. Me and my children
Oh,
watch that. Lion King and Hamilton and whatever Star Wars Avengers nonsense that they're into. We literally watched it multiple times.
hilarious.
Yeah. And they keep wanting to watch the new one. And I'm like, it's not the same.
It's not. It's the dead eyes of the animals. Listen, I need Nala to look at Simba like she
I
want to
would
jump
lean
his
back
bones.
What's it? Can you feel the love tonight? And she leaned back like this and was like,
Listen, Nala said, she leaned us at, I said, oh, woman of God.
Nala was fresh. Nala was for sure
Period.
fresh. Absolutely. But I love it. I love it. And you know, as much as I love Beyonce, she didn't really give me Nala in that way. She did her thing because she's Beyonce and she does everything well. But
Nah, she ain't really do acting well. When I tell you, when I love Beyonce, I want to hear her sing and dance and things. But when we were in the theater and Nala first opened her mouth, literally everyone around me started laughing, like, hey Beyonce, like nobody regarded her.
The funny thing about Beyonce is that her voice is so specific that it's hard to lose yourself in the character because
absolutely.
Her voice is so specific. But that's not just her, because Michael B. Jordan is the same way. His voice is so specific that I hear him no matter what role he's playing.
I feel you.
I don't do any Beyonce slander.
I'm not slandering her. I'm just saying.
Okay, next one. Titanic.
Do I have to rewrite it?
Yeah, that's the name of the game.
Okay, they would have found a way to save the boat and everybody would have lived. I hate all these deaths, so I would have saved the people of God.
And, you know, I think that I would have allowed the boat to go down because, you know, human hubris sometimes can be our undoing, and sometimes you need to learn a big lesson. But I just feel like Jack would have got on the little board with her. Like, man, he could float away at sea. I think that was unnecessary. But who am I? I'm not.
Heartbreak. I can't do all this death. Like I'm just trying to save all the people. Except in my books, for real. I be killing people.
Well, you really gonna hate this one, then.
Okay.
Best Man Holiday.
Oh my God. I've only seen it once, literally because of the death scene. When that lady, before she passed though, when she lifted her hands during Oh Holy Night, I said, why would y'all do that? What would I have changed? I would have definitely kept her alive, and I probably would have I can't remember the young lady's name, but the guy with the dreads, his girl, I would have killed her.
Merch.
Yep, her. She would have had to go, but I would have kept Mia alive.
Huh? Wait, Merch's wife? Regina?
No. What's the young lady's name? Yeah, I think so. I think I would have.
Regina Hall?
No, not Regina Hall. It's the guy with the locks wife.
Or
I'm sorry. I think I'm saying the wrong young lady. She's light skinned.
Oh, the one, the fresh pot one, the one with the
her.
Yeah, I don't want her to die, but she gotta go. You know what I would have?
She would have been out of here
if she would have found real love. That would have been nice to like round out everybody in a couple now.
And yeah, definitely. I like the direction they were going in with Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
I wish they would have landed that.
Yeah. I mean,
but who knows?
Wedding, I'm thinking that's supposed to be where they're going if that ever comes out.
Right. I like that direction. I want him to get played though.
Do you?
I want him to get played. I like when the player gets played. So I would love to see that happen.
That would be dope. He finds somebody that has him like open, head over heels, can't get
absolutely.
That would be
and
dope.
He has met his match. The player got to get played.
That would be dope. Okay, last one. My second favorite movie, Color Purple.
Ooh, one of my favorites of all time. Okay, so how did we? I would have changed it to where Celie would have got money faster.
Okay.
And I don't know if I would have helped Mister. I wish Celie would have gotten money faster. I wish she would have gotten to her sister quicker. And I don't know. I would have explored that storyline between Suge, Avery, and Miss Celie.
I mean, the thing is that they put it all out there. Like, we very clearly know what's going on. And I feel a way about how Suge did Celie. Like, she didn't have to,
yes.
She had to do her that way. She
didn't, but I think her purpose was to try to, because she knew low-key Celie was getting really raped. I think she was just trying to be a teacher to her, especially if you read the book. It didn't sound like she wanted her. She was just trying to be a teacher to get her to explore her sexuality.
But the problem with that, though, is in those scenarios where you have such intense trauma that she's only going to connect to you because you're the only sense of love and kindness that she sees in her
absolutely
world. And she connect, and the way you've expressed your love towards her is in that nature. So that's where she fell in love. She was head over heels.
Absolutely.
In love with you.
But and not only was she head over heels, but her even singing the song Sister to her, that lets you know where the connection was, because for Celie, the only love she had was with her biological sister. And now she experiences the same love, but obviously it's sexual as well with Miss Suge. And then she just goes off and abandons her. So I wish she would have got more justice. Like, she would have seen their relationship through some type of way, even if they were just like gonna do the whole we're just friends thing. I wish she would have been able to get that love from Suge.
I definitely would have had the return from Africa scene happen a little bit earlier, so they weren't just like, I really like, as much as I love Color Purple, I hate the trope of Black women's joy and peace coming in old age beyond our capacity to really feel it and enjoy it and experience it. But
absolutely,
like, that is one of those classic stories that really is the tone setter for how Black women are portrayed in media and books and movies and things like that. But it also is not that far from reality.
It's not.
Your bio right now on Instagram says that you bring something like 12 books.
Yes, I'm working on 13 now. Actually, 13 and 14, so pretty much trying. But yes, 12 are out.
So where do you find the time, the words, the creativity to write 12 books?
I don't know. I think, you know what, when God has gifted you, and I'm about to sound so churchy. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just who I am. I'm sorry. When God has given you a grace to do something, you will find that thing comes easy to you. And I don't want to say easy as in it's hard. It's not hard or difficult. I mean, it's easy as in it's second nature to me, because the gift of the scribe is something that he has given me since I was a child. And so where do I find the time? A couple of years ago, I actually quit my job. While I was working, I did still find time to write, because I am not going to help you make all the money and help you make all your dreams come true, while I am sitting up here talking about Jesus, when it's going to happen for me. So if that meant I couldn't sleep as long as I wanted to sleep, if that's what that, okay, if that's what that meant, that's what that meant. So I was able at a point a couple years ago, and I quit my job. I'm blessed to be able to have some support from my family. And I said, I really want to do this full time. I felt like God was putting that on my heart. And so I took the leap of faith, and I've been leaping ever since.
So you are a full-time, so writing and publishing, authoring, is that a word? Authoring and publishing, your full-time job.
Full-time.
My God. And so, okay, so your series, is it safe to say your most popular series?
Absolutely.
Church Girls.
Yes.
And we're on what, 4? Yeah.
4. So Church Girls is absolutely a 4-book series. I'm not going to write any more Church Girls books. However, I have been doing spin-offs based off of the Church Girls series. So all of my books, my fiction books, that is, all of the characters will kind of know each other. It's like the Sheridan S. Davis or the Chocolate Chip and Co. universe.
Okay. So tell us about church. So for someone who's never heard of Church Girls, are new to the Christian fiction space.
Okay.
Tell us about Church Girls.
Well, first, let me say, you don't even have to be saved to read it. I know the title sounds like it, but child, you don't. So here's what's happening. Church Girls is a story about 5 close friends who grew up in Chicago on the west side in the church scene, meaning most of them are PKs. And now they are adults in their mid-20s and are trying to navigate between family, faith, love, relationships, job, money, and trying to figure it the heck out and still be friends. And along that road, they deal with some betrayal, some pain, relationships, cheating, marriage, and all of that stuff in between. So Church Girls, with this book, you'll just find out that Church Girls are just like your girls.
So is it sex in these books?
Well, not number 1, because I was still a little scared. So once we get to oh, and let me also put this out there. So I book number 1 is heavily talking about, I don't want to say heavily, it talks about abstinence as far as with my flagship couple, because I'm still a virgin. I'm abstaining until marriage, so I can't talk about sex in the way there is talks about sex, and there is some innuendos here and there, but I don't get comfortable going there until my last release.
Okay, and you know what, that leads me right to my next question. I was going to ask, are there any parallels from Church Girls to your real life?
Yes.
So how then, if there are, tell us about those parallels, but then also, how has your, if at all, has your experience with abstinence informed your writing?
Okay. So there are several parallels to my real life. Some I can tell you and some I can't. That's why I fictionalized it. So abstinence absolutely plays a part in my writing up until very recently. And it still is somewhat apart because I am saved. So I'm not going to encourage people to fornicate. That's not something I'm going to encourage, but I am also aware that people do. So all of my characters are not abstaining. Let me be clear. Okay. But the parallels to my real life. So in the first Church Girls, the main character, her name is Cheyenne. Cheyenne is very reminiscent of me, except I haven't met the Darian yet. and Darian is her love interest. And so Church Girls literally started because I wrote my third book called I'm Nobody's Ruth, and where I basically did an introspective look at myself. And I said, hey girl, you up here talking about you want a Boaz? Are you that girl that will attract that guy? And is that who you want? And so I had to do a look at myself. And once I did the look, I was like, okay, well, where he at though, Jesus? I done did the work on myself. Where is the man of God? You should be rolling him in right about now. And that did not happen. And so from there, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to kind of like write my perfect love story.
Yeah.
And that became Church Girls. I wanted to write about myself, and I had just lost a friendship. And I wanted to kind of delve into the world of being a church girl, dealing with friendship and romance. So abstinence is definitely because of my life. It became a part of the story. Dealing with preachers and preacher's son is a part of my life. So it becomes a part of the story. But losing friendship, losing loved ones, that is also a part of the story as well. Betrayal is a part of the story.
Wow. That's so good. I think you kind of touched on one of the next questions I want to ask you. When you think about living your life in these, like, or kind of like touching on aspects of life that you've not experienced in these stories, and but so well though, like you said that you eventually got to sex adventure, like where do you draw inspiration from for the parts? So there are some parallels, but for the parts that you've not experienced yet, is that research like any other author does, or like where do you draw your experience for things that you are unfamiliar with?
Okay, so let me be clear. I research in a way, meaning I talk to my girls who have experienced some things. I'm not like out here looking at articles and things, but I'm like, girl, so what happened? You was on a date and such and such and such and such. Also, I want to be transparent real quick. This past summer during the quarantine, your girl, the preacher's daughter, the preacher, I had dealt with somebody who was lukewarm, for lack of a better time.
One foot in, one foot out, like he was here.
One foot, baby, but the foot that was in was like slew-footed in, okay? And so
dress shoes on ice.
Listen, and so for me, when I say I'm abstaining, I'm talking about I didn't even have my first kiss until this summer.
Oh, wow.
So,
wow.
I mean, abstaining for real. And so, but when I experienced that first kiss, some things had happened or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So some feelings had occurred that I didn't know was there. And so from there, I could draw on that experience from the kiss and just imagine, had I let things go further, what would have happened. So am I being explicit? No. Sensual? Absolutely.
You know, it's so interesting. Like there's in my anthology, My Vulva and Me, there's a story in there called I Chose Dark Chocolate. And the author tells a story of this couple, happily married couple, who the wife is sexually unsatisfied. And she has this friend who is like a little bit ratchet, but in the best kind of way. Like everybody needs a little ratchet.
Yes.
So it's like like,
just a little Cardi B.
Right, just a little touch of Cardi B, but with a good heart, right? And so she shared with her friend that she hadn't had an orgasm in over a year. And her friend was like, So, and from that, so if you go throughout the story, she's like kind of grappling with that. She has this very, there were no innuendos. There were flat out, here's what happened. She had a daydream of the last time she had an orgasm, the experience she had with her husband. And then you go throughout the story, she finds herself in a tempting situation with another man and really like wrestling with what sexual satisfaction means, what her husband is able to provide, sexual compatibility, like a number of things. And so as a Christian myself, And though My Vulva and Me wasn't promoted or intended to be a Christian book, I wrestled with, what do I do with this story? Where do I put it? Because if I have this book that is supposed to be for, by, and about Black women, it's putting Black women's stories out on front. This is a real story,
right?
That Black women experience, even Christian women experience, if they're sexually unsatisfied.
I dealt with that.
Have someone there that is like ready, willing, and able. Is just like, when temptation is great, He will provide an escape. Lord, where's my escape?
Right.
You know what I mean? Type of situation. And I really wrestled with, I'm a believer. People know me as a believer. I'm the #1 Christian sexologist, but yet I have a book with sex in it, like, and cursing in it, and like all of those things. So how do you, or have you gotten to a place where it's like, I said what I said? Like, what?
I just got there.
Okay, so tell me about it. What's that evolution been like?
Yes. Whew. I had to breathe like that because I just got there. And you know what? My bishop, apostle father, my daddy, he's the one who helped me get there. Because I was concerned. I'm like, first of all, I'm the oldest child, oldest of 5, and I am the most cognizant of what I do and how it affects my parents' ministry. And I said, okay, Daddy, this guy, this male character, he not abstaining. I don't see that for him. And I also, he cuss. And I'm gonna have to make him cuss. I just kind of want to warn you. And my daddy said, Sheridan. And when he called me Sheridan, that's like, he's serious, because my nickname is Sheridan. And he said, Sheridan, girl, that's your job. God called you to paint pictures.
Yeah.
Not to rewrite the scripture. The Bible is there. You don't have to write that.
Go ahead, Daddy.
You're called to paint pictures. And when he read the book with the sexual scenes, and he was like, oh my God. He said the first thing he thought is this. Number one, he doesn't read it as if Sheridan wrote it. He reads it as art, because I'm an artist.
Okay.
But number 2, he said, and this was the funny part, he said, now child, you still got your testimony? We pray.
Wait, there's a lot of details in here. Where did this come from?
Listen, do you still got your testimony? But I still have my testimony. It's just art. And I feel that if the Bible can have songs of Solomon, I can't have a scene.
This is true.
And they shall know the truth. Everybody is not abstaining, and they shall know the truth, and the truth shall set them free. So if I can share a story with somebody who abstained or didn't abstain and see what the truth is, and somebody else can read that truth and then learn something from it, even though it's fiction, there are morals all up and through the story. If somebody can read that and walk away feeling empowered, the truth set them free.
Absolutely. That is so good, Sheridan. And just thinking about being a Black woman, being a Christian, and being in this space where it's not kind of like this like dichotomous experience where as a Christian you're expected to be this way, but as a Black woman there are stereotypes that you have to outlive to be oversexed,
absolutely,
and insatiable, and all of these things. So like kind of walking how has it been being a Black woman in the field, in the publishing field, in the field of writing, being an author? What do you feel like you've had a unique experience being a Black woman?
Absolutely. And not just being a Black woman, but being a dark-skinned Black woman, being a dark-skinned Christian Black woman, because all of these things, this intersectionality, all of these things give me different results. So number one, it's coming into the space being young. A lot of Christian fiction authors that are Black women are older than I am. They have more experience than I have. And I might be a little bit more ratchet than them, although they talk about worldly things. But the fact of the matter is, my what sets me apart from other people is that you can put my books next to urban fiction books and Christian fiction. So I'm like the merge between the two. What the space of being a Black woman and a publisher, listen, it's people coming to you, wanting your services, and they don't fully respect your pricing. It is people coming to you and they want your services, but they feel that they can speak to you or call you sweetheart, and you have to say, I'm not a sweetheart, I'm a boss. So I have dealt with things like that. I have dealt with, I'm very conscious of the characters that I write. Being a dark-skinned Black woman, I want to make sure that I am not corroborating with the stereotypes where dark-skinned Black women have to either be hyper sexualized or masculine. Yeah. So I have to be I literally pick the skin tones and the shapes and things of these characters, their favorite colors and all of that. I am conscious of everything concerning these characters, because I don't want to feed into a stereotype that is negative about Black women. I don't want somebody to read my books and think this is just another oversexed Black thing, because like they do with urban fiction. And I don't look down my nose at urban fiction. I'm entertained by it, but I want to be careful.
We love Coldest Whatever.
Okay, hello. I just want to be very careful and cognizant of each choice that I make, so that if somebody offers a critique to me, it's not gonna be where I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. If I made a choice, I made it. I knew it. I made it.
You said what you said. I wrote what I wrote.
And I stand in it, period.
And so the thing, like all of these characters, like you said, you decide their skin color, their body type, their favorite color, their favorite food, where they grew up, all of those things. So these are like your babies in that sense. So
they are. Listen, okay. I'm about to be 30, and literally I was sharing with my therapist. I'm very transparent, honey. So I'll be telling my business. I was telling my therapist, my initial thought, like if I was planning my life, I thought I would be married with children by now, but I'm not. But my books are my kids. Like literally my readers, I put so much care into my readers and my children that are my books, that it's everything to me. It's my legacy. And so I'm very conscious.
Keep in mind, she's an artist and she's sensitive.
Hello.
Okay, so let's go here for a second. If these are your children, these are your babies, what's your favorite child?
Oh, my favorite is always going to be the last one that I've written, because it is my goal that, honey, every book gets better and better.
She gave us this politically correct.
It's true. Okay, so I have two favorites.
Okay.
My two favorites are going to be Untitled, How Does It Feel? Because again, that's when I stepped outside of the Christian fiction realm and just did Black romance. And I love that. I'm like so proud. So, and that was the last one that I did. But my second favorite would be Church Girls 3. Because I came out, I stepped out, I told out a little piece in that one.
So if those are your favorite books, do you have a particular character that you're sweet on?
Can I give two?
Sure.
Okay. So in Untitled, How Does It Feel? The male character, his name is Stephen Jr., and he is Cheyenne from Church Girl's youngest brother, or brother, period. So he is my favorite. When I tell you, writing him, it gives me a chance to be ratchet and just look into the mind of somebody who don't give a crap. So I love him. And then I also love Skylar. Skylar is their sister, baby sister, and her book does not come out until September. But I've been writing her, and I am loving living out my college fantasies through her.
I had the privilege of hearing chapter 1, I think that was, when we were introduced to Skylar. And baby, that little girl is a mess. Okay?
Yes, she is.
She is a mess. And I can't even wait. I'm very excited. I'm hopeful that'll be out around the time where I have a break from school, where I can actually get back to leisure reading. Because when you're in school, you read because you have to.
Listen.
Leisure reading is a thing. But that's okay. So you have you've been trailblazing in publishing and writing, you're evolving, you now stepped into the Black romance space, but you're still the bishop's daughter.
Yes.
What is something that you've heard or got wind of about yourself that is unequivocally untrue?
I love this question so much. I actually was having this discussion yesterday. The thing that I've heard that is just really flat out not true is that I have unreachable standards.
What?
So because of my aura, I have been told that I am intimidating until you get to know me, which is fine, especially by guys, right? So, and they assume that I have these impossible standards, and I don't.
Okay, so then if that's so just keep in mind, y'all hear her now. She's not intimidating just because you're intimidated.
Hello.
Catch that. And she doesn't have impossible standards, fellas, if you're watching, but just know, just come correct.
Come on, is there a heart in the house tonight?
I mean, because first of all, y'all get to know who her daddy is and how her daddy treats her, so don't you try to come giving no left, okay? More importantly, how she treats herself.
Amen.
Okay? Amen. All right. So if you notice something that you've heard about yourself or a critique that you've been given, that even though you may not like it, is true.
Okay, so the critique is that I literally just came to reckon with the fact that this is true 2 days ago. Okay, so the critique is that because of how I communicate, that in relationships, that I am often pointing out what I don't like, instead of pointing out what I do like. So I should do a better job at saying, oh, you did this well, you did, affirming. But instead I'm like, don't do that. I don't like that. So I have to do both. I have to find a balance.
Are you spoiled?
Yes.
All right. Now it's all coming together. Now it's beginning to make sense.
Absolutely.
You're a daddy's girl. Even being the oldest, you're a daddy's girl.
Oh, listen, my daddy will sit here and tell you, he tells all of his friends, Sherry is the oldest, but she's my baby. Like you talked in the beginning about this loss that I just experienced. When I tell you every day, I just run to my father, lay my head on his chest, I cry, and then I get up and go about my business. But I need a minute. Let me come lay my head on your chest. I'm going to cry my eyes out. He's rubbing my back. And then I'm off to do my thing.
So how then, because I am always intrigued. And last week we talked with Danny Rose, chef of Stovetop Kitchen.
Oh.
Last episode, excuse me, not last week, but she's also a self-professed daddy's girl. And I am like so intrigued. And you're where are you from?
Chicago.
Chicago. You got a little country drawl in Chicago?
We do. It's because of the Great Migration. So everybody from Chicago, all the Black folks, their grandmas is from Mississippi. And so
we Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't put me on Jeopardy. Where is Sheridan Davis from? What is somewhere down south? Alex. Oh my God, I got that wrong. Well, I could see now. I was getting ready to make a parallel because Denny's from Alabama, and I was
Okay.
like, y'all, okay, well, I don't know. But the point is, I'm always so intrigued by daddy's girls, especially Black daddy's girls, because so many of us have that experience of not having fathers in the home or not having that connection and things like that. And so, as another friend of mine from St. Louis, who even the way you say it, my daddy, and it's just like they'll all say the same way, my daddy, my daddy. And then 30 years old, then he's older. My girlfriend, she's almost 40. And it's with my daddy, and I have like literally never said daddy. I may say like my
Wow.
dad, my
Hmm.
pop, my
Hmm.
father. Like I literally cannot remember ever saying to my dad, daddy. Like what I mean?
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
a warmth and a connection there. Cause like I know when I say mommy, like even as a adult before my mom passed, like mommy.
Hmm.
If you want Danielle, that's my middle name. That's when I was working. Like if I was sick or something, I'm like, mommy, can you stop? Like, that kind of thing. So to see that relationship with women and whoever with their father is just like so amazing to me. And it's like, what does that really mean? What does it mean to be a daddy's girl?
Ooh, that is a weighty question. And shout out to my mommy. I love her too.
Hey mom. We love you
what it
too, girlfriend.
what it means for me to be a daddy's girl is that I have protection.
Wow.
Um, I can recall being bullied in the
Mm-hmm.
third grade and running home, crying to my dad because this girl was talking about me being dark skinned.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him just affirming me and my mom too. But I think the reality is that I have this male energy who tells me that I'm enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have that all the time. Yeah.
And so the thing with that, just listen to that, like the male energy that tells you you're enough, and then look like the idea of having daddy issues, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you have that void, there is definitely a shrinking. Like your shoulders are a little lower when
Mm-hmm.
you aren't getting that affirmation. Because I know a lot of folks who didn't really have that connection with their dad, but they had a very strong grandfather that
Yep. Mm-hmm.
like that male role just to affirm it keeps and it's not always the end, but in some spaces I've seen in my lived experience and those around me, there's been a difference with how folks show up in relationships,
Absolutely.
how you set and stick to your boundaries and all of those things based on what you just said. I am enough, and you have that energy so that you can what folks may perceive from you as intimidation is really confidence. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
not looking to be affirmed by you. Your affirmation is a bonus. Thanks, I appreciate you. But
Right.
if it does not come, I would say like you, my daddy's already done it. My daddy already done
Fact.
it for me. So what else do you have? And
Fact.
so like, what else you got? And you know what I'm saying? And so, but the
Absolutely.
thing is, a lot of us grow up, I can speak from my own experience, not having my dad around and being in a space where we working on getting it together now, glory to God. But there was a lot of jockeying for position, if you will. Like I always
Mm-hmm.
wanted to find out what I could do better or different
Mm-hmm.
so that he could want to be around. And
Mm-hmm.
I mirrored some of that same terrible behavior in relationships. Like, what do I need to do to make you want to stay? And what
Mm-hmm.
happened when I got to a place where I realized I was enough and where I got confident in the fact that Jesus said I was enough, when I began to look in the mirror and was like, oh,
Right.
it's like it's a different experience now. And even like my shoulders are back, my stance is a little different. My conversation it's like what do you mean? And that's just not
Yeah.
even in romantic relationships. That's among friendships. That's at work. That's in negotiations for business. It's just like you're not doing me any favors by being here.
Right.
Right. Okay. So it's just so I think that is just so amazing to look at, like just seeing another person who I see show up in the world as unapologetically themselves, having that daddies. But then it's also leading to my next question, as we get ready to wrap up, is how do you, as someone who has abstained, 30 years old, never had that experience, what do you think is going to be like, or what do you think will be your biggest adjustment when you have to leave? When it's time to leave in Cleveland, when it's not daddy anymore, but it's
right.
daddy.
Daddy. Right. Well, I think there's a couple things, right? So first of all, again, being transparent, I have an agreement with my daddy that I'm going to remain until I meet Zaddy. Remain in home until I meet Zaddy. And so thank God I got a healthy family, because some people can't do that, right?
Yeah, that would have not been my testimony. But go ahead.
Right. And so well, daddy and mommy, let me be clear. And so the adjustment, my God, I think it's going to be quite an adjustment. First of all, with training my mind to know that I'm not wrong, because I've had no, don't touch me here, don't touch me there for so long, to then back up and be like, you're free to roam about the cabin. That's gonna be that's gonna be an adjustment. And furthermore, but you know what? I think the great thing about it is, I think that it will be an adjustment whoever I choose to marry. Let me say it like that. Amen. Whoever I choose to marry, I believe that person will be worth making adjustments for. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, and a part of the reason why I'm abstaining, because it ain't just all spiritual. Yeah. The natural reasons are simply because I want to make sure that whoever I am sharing my body, my soul, my life, my energy with is someone who is worth me making adjustments. Listen, I'm not going to counseling with you and you a boyfriend. Like, I'm not I'm not giving wife benefits to somebody who just dude up the street. And so the adjustment period is learning how to go from this single, listen, I want to go out Thursday, so I'm about to go, and I'm about to go out of town. I'm going to Vegas Friday, and I'm going and making all these decisions on my own, to considering someone. That's going to be the biggest.
And then also consider, and then also like when you need somewhere to cry, not running to your bed.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what? The great thing about my dad, and my sister is married. And so the great thing about my dad and my mom is they like, girl, talk to your husband.
That's good.
Yeah. So I have that. The great thing is that I can have the help on all sides, if that makes sense. I just got more of a cushion to lean on when I get the new dude.
That is amazing. That's so good to hear. I really appreciate your introspection and your ability and your transparency and ability to see things from all sides and really see in your, again, which is why I asked you to be here in addition to the biggest problem.
Yeah.
But it's because I love how you show up in the world. Like, it's just so awe-inspiring. Not just your way you write, like the way you like show up on Instagram, like how you in the comments and all, like your stories and your pictures and all the things is just so like, it's such a light, and I really
thank you,
appreciate it. And I really approached you. So here's for everybody watching. Hey, girlfriends.
Hey.
Talking. I ain't even paying attention to y'all this episode. Hey, girlfriends. Sorry. But So I approached Sheridan a couple, maybe months ago now, at this point,
Mm-hmm.
because with fear and trembling, because she had followed me on Instagram, and I was already like a fan. I heard about her before, and we were preparing for volume 2 of my book, and I needed a new publisher. And I looked, and I first I was like, I think that she's a publisher, but I don't know. But if she's not, who does her stuff, because it's so amazing. And I just was like, I'm not assigning this lady's DMs. Like, this is just so familiar. Because I am very particular about being too familiar. Like, we can kiki all over social media and all of those things, but that's social media, right? We don't know.
Absolutely.
And then business is business. And so I always I don't do that. Like with my friends, like my glam squad,
Come on, glam.
even then the invoice comes, because I don't do that. I don't. And now they be like, go with God, and they want to bless me and pour into my life. I'm not gonna look at gift horse in the mouth. However, I'm leading with the invoice, and so I never want to be too familiar and expect things from people, right? And we had kikied and shared and posted, yes, girlfriend, all through, but it still was like, would she even be interested in it? Is this something that she even cared about? Because I reverence your outlook and your mindset and your hand in the literary field.
Wow.
So very much.
Wow.
And so announcement is, am I allowed to say it because we didn't get to the invoice yet? Are we sure?
Let's go. We good.
I can cut this out if I'm not allowed to say it. Sheridan Davis, Chocolate Chip and Co. is going to be the publisher for volume 2 of my Vulva in Me anthology for, by, and about Black women, called Letters to Our Daughters. I am so freaking excited. So this volume, I want everybody all across the world, all Black women, all across the nation, all across the world, to send in your submission and really write a letter to the little girl in you. Write that letter that you needed at 8 years old. Write a letter to your own child. Write a letter to Black girls across the world that you never even know. I want this to be the seasoned, the grown, the healed, the mentors, the mistakes, and all of those things for the little Black girls, so that we can shift the narrative of what it means, what Black childhood means.
Yes.
And I think that if we can give those stories, show those pitfalls, how we avoided them, show the issues of representation that our little Black girls, our babies need, that can really change lives for folks. So that's what my Vulva in Me is. It is created to be for that little 8-year-old girl who was convinced that her babysitter was going to make her best friend. Why? That's why she kept kissing on her nipples.
Yeah.
She wanted to do it because who else was going to be her friend if she did? And so, and then the teenager and the adult who at times who wrestled with, you must have wanted that. That was your fault, because why would you do it and you knew better? You know what I mean? So that's what my Vulva in Me is for. For that little girl who felt like she was the ugly duckling. For that little girl who felt like her body was the only commodity that she had to earn attention and affection, and those who didn't have a parent, who didn't have parents, who was adopted, who was a part of foster care, who had parents who were so preoccupied with their own stuff that didn't pay her, any mind, who did everything that the Jesus told them to do, but still experienced trials and pain in their life. That's what my Vulva in Me is for. And the fact that you said yes to publishing this, with the weight that you carry, with the work that you already have going on, I am just flabbergasted. Like, I was like, that's no cat, no smoke, no pipe. Like, I don't know you enough to blow smoke up your behind. And that's not even something that, I could be a little Joe sometimes, but I don't lie. I can't be phony. That's not something that I can be. And so I am just like, the quality of it is just, so I'm excited. Volume 2 is getting ready to, I know it's going to far and away blow, even though Volume 1 is that's my baby. That's my first published ISBN number. So that's my baby. But Volume 2, it's life changing. Like I see my vulva in me in lights. I see my vulva in me in classrooms. I see my vulva in me on Michelle Obama's summer read list. Come on, dude.
Yes, come on.
Jesus.
Come on, Oprah's Book Club.
Come on, Book Club.
Yes.
I Super Soul Sunday.
Come on. We got it. Come on.
And chocolate chip and coke stamp on the back is really going to be what takes it there. And so get y'all submissions in. The call to somebody, by the time you're watching this, because we are pre-recording, the call for submissions should be out or it's on its way. It soon come. But whatever it is, start your writing now. Okay?
Yes.
Sheridan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great time. Like seriously.
Thank you.
So if you could do two things, I want you to close us with what it means to be a Black woman for you. And after you finish that, let all the people know where they can contact you, where they can grab your books, and what you have new coming up that they can support.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you again for having me and for trusting my publishing company with your work. I am elated. And the reason why I'm elated, it also goes into what it means to be a Black woman for me. That means holding each other up, supporting each other. It means you got a sisterhood filled with dopeness. It means that I don't have to dim somebody else's light to make mine shine. But when we get together with our lights, we can make our light shine brighter. That's what being a Black woman means for me. It means that dopeness is in my DNA. It means that
okay.
And it means that I am empowered, that somebody died so I could be in the spot I'm in today. Not just Jesus, although he did, but also my ancestors. Yeah. And so I am super grateful. And we talked about my confidence and all that stuff. I have not always had that. That is something that I have had to grow into because I remember being bullied because I was a dark-skinned Black girl, because I was a fat, tall Black girl. And you know what? It didn't matter how many times my parents told me I was beautiful until I believed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't matter what they said. Yeah. And so I am grateful to be able to publish this work so that some girl who was like me, who thought that they were too black, too dark, too fat, too ugly, can read my story or your story or some other girl's letter to that Black girl and feel like, child, I could publish books. I can become a sexologist. I can do makeup. I can read. I can write a book. And so that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Tomorrow now. Cut it out.
I'm here for that, girl. So I'm grateful for that. And you asked me for one more thing.
Yes, just tell the people where they can find you.
Where you guys can find me. Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. So I'm on the social media. You can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I am on Clubhouse. I'm on Twitter. Listen, I need to do better. I know. I am doing a bunch of things, and you can find me at the handle Sheridan S. Davis on all of those mediums, and Snapchat too. Also, you can find my books, all of them, at www.amazon.com/author/Sheridan S. Davis.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, girlfriends, for tuning in with us today, this evening. Make sure y'all stick in with us for this evening. We have even more surprises, even more great women, even more just amazingness, because you know my Vulva and Me, we go there. It's May, that means it's Mental Health Awareness Month, it is Mother's Day, it is Masturbation Month, it's all the things that folks were talking about.
All of the things.
And then we're going to go there and get into it on my Vulva and Me, because you know we are for, by, and about Black women, and we are going to talk about all the things that involve Black women. So thank you for sticking in with us, and we will be back on Tuesday. So see you then. Bye.
Bye.